Yo, I changed my tag.
Again?
Yeah.
To what? What's your new identity?
Basil.
That's dope.
Because they brought basil into the store today, and I was like, yo.
What do you want at?
Right now.
Oh, okay.
Just for a little bit
I
longer.
have to beep
I
that.
feel like we would work in a smoke shop. I don't know why I thought that.
All right. Yeah, I guess we're here. J-Mac's still really far away from his
Oh,
mic.
my bad. Sorry. So
No,
sorry.
you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. So welcome back to this. We missed you while we just still don't have really intros or outros nailed at this point.
We'll get there. It all comes with
Even,
practice.
like, we haven't
It's
really
organic
thought about
like
them.
this.
It is. It's
Organic
organic.
doesn't
and
always
organic
mean
doesn't
good.
always mean
Yeah,
better.
that's true. That is true. But in this case, it does. For those conversations.
We do have a guest, J-Mac the Dragon.
Hey, glad
J-Mac
to be back.
Dragon. Back.
Glad to be back. Always a pleasure.
We missed you.
Always a pleasure.
So you're used to being on Channel 3. Content here is a little different. I have written a painstakingly long article to read.
Oh man, dope.
I started a competition.
Just like when I was
You did.
in school. Yay.
And so
Well, don't worry, you don't have to read it.
Oh no! See, that's the good part about it.
basically what we do is I'm going to present this topic and we're just going to have fun with it while I'm talking about
Cool.
it. Stuff like that.
Even when we shouldn't.
Genocide, serial killers,
I like
all
that.
of that. We have a great time.
What about eating babies?
It hasn't come up yet.
I mean,
Okay.
Baby's got a secret project he's working
can we
on.
delete this
so-
part out?
Pepper that in there. Eating babies.
16 times.
too bad.
He peppered it in 16 times.
Oh man, everyone's super loud, but like we'll be fine.
That's a lot of pepper.
That's too much pepper.
I don't know how to do it.
That's pepper overload.
All right,
This is how we're
I'm gonna turn y'all down since you're insecure about it.
Damn.
Who?
All right, try your mic now. Let's
No.
see where we're at. Because we are. I mean, like we're all pretty
No.
loud.
Try your mic now? No.
She was just like, I can't do it.
All right, what about this?
Mike.
Is that for us or him?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
who-
for everyone.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Did you?
So we're just going to talk so that we can make sure the levels are
I
good
love-
Regularly.
about regular stuff.
Yeah,
Regularly.
just,
I thought you were checking your mic like this.
Just go to get a little kiss.
Yeah, give a little kiss.
That's a different way to check your mic.
All right, I guess we'll just bring everyone down uniformly. 'cause
Yeah, we
Norman-
are. Oh, there you go.
That was all right. How's that look?
That looks good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone
try
feel good
that.
about that?
Yeah.
I think I'm good. Am I good?
I mean, now you're quiet.
Why?
Nah, it's cool. We'll just bring you up a little bit. All right.
Turn me up in the headphones.
We'll get there.
Oh snap!
Are we
Look
just
what's
gonna
on the
have this
TV
in the
right
background
now.
the whole
Yes.
time?
We're gonna have Mario on the TV.
I taught him all
the
his
whole
moves.
time.
Bro's a cornball.
Chill out.
Everyone knows this song is one of the best of all time.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure,
yes,
for sure.
I agree.
Step Up would not have been the same without Mario. And that
I'm well
I don't know what about his face is so big, but something about that face is big.
You
I've
just have a
never-
really big face.
I've never seen Step Up.
Your face is huge.
It's the nostrils. Look at those nostrils.
Big face syndrome. BFS. You've contracted
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
BFS.
You contract it later in life, your face gets bigger. I don't know what happened. My face used to be small, but I swear it's never been like
It
this.
wouldn't stop growing. That's terrible. Why you do my man's like that?
Man.
Well, I mean, your nose and ears don't stop growing until you die. That's a fun fact I know.
Really?
So maybe that shit a real thing. So we all gonna die.
I can't wait to see Mario in 30 more years.
Yo, we all are cool with Mario. This is just jokes. This is for the record. This is all going out
If
to
you're
the
out there
people.
and you want to come out on the show, we would love to
That'd
hear
be-
your side of the
that'd be
story.
super-
Weird. Yeah, so we got Mario here. He's got some real dark shit he
He's
wants
like, I
to
just
talk
wanted
about.
to say fuck y'all for saying my face was big.
I don't have a big face. Okay?
I don't.
Mario.
My face is not big.
It's just the trick of the camera. It's,
Come on,
you guys
Mario.
are assholes.
You should let me love you.
Oh
okay.
man, that's so funny.
Oh man.
Why?
Anyway, I guess let's just start after all that.
That's a good intro. That's a solid intro.
So I need a
Channel
stand.
3.
I need a stand to hold something
You
here.
need two
If
stands.
only your hands worked.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I'm just
Alright.
gonna read this.
all right. Why don't you read the topic? Nah, it wouldn't make any sense.
Mm-mm.
I talk about me in there sometimes.
Wait,
Ego.
where is this going?
So, I figured, since I have, at this point, the reputation of doing the least credible articles,
This is episode 4, so yeah.
yes, that I should just keep that up. My last article, there was no evidence of anything, so I was like, you know what?
Oh, I love
Let's just keep it
unfactual-
going.
Yeah, I love articles no fact.
No, I think that was I think that's a good mix. Like, there's like some urban legends that
Yeah.
could be, and then we have some facts over here.
This
It's all good.
Definitely eventually falls into that
It's
category.
non-fiction.
Yeah, one of
fiction.
the ones I'm thinking about working on, I've read a whole book, and I don't read, so
Wow. Is
Then
it
how'd
hard
you
to,
do
like,
it?
drive places and stuff?
I've got an audio
So you
book.
just see those signs and you're like,
She said she doesn't. She said
Ah!
she didn't say she can't.
I'm sorry. Did you say you have an audiobook for when you drive? So
Like road
the scene
signs?
road signs. You have the audiobook for it.
that one says...
Stop. What? Stop.
Where do we purchase?
All right, so I'm
Really?
going to get started with a little story about a place called the Baker Hotel. Now, Bailey might know this because I've been trying to get him to go there for
Mm-hmm.
about 2 years now.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And after this story, I think we should all take a trip there, maybe for our Halloween special.
Okay.
Okay?
I mean, where's that at? Are you gonna get into that?
Okay,
Yes.
let's let him start, and then let's ask questions.
Hey, what happened there? No, I'm just kidding.
So the Baker Hotel, and I'm going to read this almost verbatim, is a topic that's pretty near and dear to me for a couple of reasons that I'll get into kind of as the story goes along. I'm going to start with, like, the story and then just, pepper in stuff about me 16, 17 times. So I'm going to break it down into 3 parts, and the first part I'm going to talk about is not Dr. Dre. What are we doing?
Nothing.
What?
Oh, now we're on
No,
Busta.
there was just a picture.
Yeah, there was a picture of Dr. Dre just looking very like
He's in the,
Man.
very
in the
menacing.
stew.
All right, before I get into the story, I watched the video for I Need a Doctor last night. He looks insane in that video.
Yeah.
His muscles are bigger than my body in that video. It's ridiculous.
That's not humanly possible. So that shows you, ladies, and
Yeah.
gentlemen, just how big.
I mean, it was almost 20 years ago, but still. All right.
I don't know. I'm not.
Please, Tanner,
Are you done?
we need your story.
Okay,
Alright.
Professor.
So
You'll wait.
this story is going to be broken down into 3 parts. The first part's going to be about the town, because the hotel isn't nearly as interesting if you don't know anything about the town. So the Baker Hotel is in a town called Mineral Wells, Texas.
I know where that is.
Yeah, it's out. I mean, if you live around here, it's out toward Weatherford, Fort Worth. If you're not from around here, it's in the middle of nowhere. Like, literally nothing around. You have
that
to drive
already
an
doesn't
hour
sound fun.
out there.
I'm not signing up.
Yeah.
you got to sell
Wait.
this to me.
There's some cows.
There's cows. That's where my granny says that the goat people live under the bridges.
Oh, yeah.
See,
So
and I was already not with it because of no civilization. Now y'all got go people. Continue.
I hear the goat people are friendly.
Oh, fucking well.
So, Mineral Wells is a smallish town in what feels like the middle of nowhere, Texas. That is the first line of this paragraph, and I've already said it a couple of ways now. I just want it to sink in. Middle of nowhere.
Nowhere.
Okay.
No
Got
one
it.
can hear you scream.
It's the town where both my parents were born, and the town where my granny still lives. And honestly, having been there my whole life, it was hard to pick one thing to talk about, because there's a lot of stuff going on in that town to talk about. It's weird. Small towns, you know how it works. So, for a town that most people have never heard of, a lot happened, and it all comes back to the town basically is built on mineral wells of mineral water.
Whoa.
Very dense mineral water. And so,
Who'd have thought?
yeah, right? It's almost like they named it.
They were being sarcastic with you.
It's a desert town. Totally dry. No, so it has this mineral water. They call it crazy water there. It's really dense mineral content.
Crazy water.
Can I get a sound bite of that?
Yes. That'll be the new song. That's what we close with.
Hey, copyright.
Oh, man, he's putting that on the next album.
Dope.
So the water is so dense with minerals that it actually acts as a natural laxative.
Nice.
Yes, which a long time ago, before medicine was medicine, they would use this water to basically detox, and it would help people get rid of colds and alcoholism, stuff like that.
That's a jump.
Wait, hold on. Are you trying to tell me
That's kind of
I can clear
extreme.
alcoholism by shitting?
No, but you can clear the alcohol out of your system real quick.
Well,
So-
that doesn't sound nearly as fun.
Yeah, not at all. So they would use this for detoxing and stuff, and eventually, like, even celebrities would come into town for this mineral water.
Cute.
It turned into a whole thing, and the people in town got mad because they felt like non-citizens were moving into town and capitalizing on their natural resources, and then not spreading the wealth in town.
That sounds familiar.
What?
Nothing.
From
Continue.
what? All we have is a river. You have to come here to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
So the people of Mineral Wells got together in 1890 and raised $150,000, which is about $4.2 million adjusted for inflation.
Oh.
Yeah. And they raised this money to build a big hotel. And the hotel was going to be staffed by citizens, and it was going to be owned by citizen investors, basically, was the plan. Right? So that's kind of where we're at. So that brings us to part 2, the actual hotel. So the town hired a hotel magnate from the DFW area named Theodore Brasher Baker. Love it. TB Baker. He's going to come up a couple more times. Just remember that. You got something to say?
What did his ancestors do?
I imagine that they...
What did his ancestors do?
I
They made
imagine that they
shoes.
skinned animals and hung the leather out to dry.
Oh, okay.
And
That
then,
makes sense,
And then
yeah.
fashioned it into armor.
All that very personable stuff.
hmm
Yes. They picked their last name out of a hat. They didn't follow that at all.
Oh.
No. So TB Baker, he built the Baker Hotel in Dallas, the Hotel Texas in Fort Worth. The guy does hotels, basically. And the
Do what you're
architect
good
for the
at.
project, what?
Do what you're good at.
I guess. He must not have been good at baking.
I think that was
So-
very funny.
The architect...
Just to go on record. Continue.
The architect for the project, Wyatt C. Hedrick, based his designs on the Arlington Hotel in Hot Springs, Arkansas, which is famous for its water and hot springs baths and stuff like that.
It's all coming
So he was like, yeah, so we're going to do that down here, was the plan, right? Let's see. Construction began in 1896, but was halted when T.B. Baker visited a hotel in California that had a pool. And he thought to himself, my hotel's got to have a pool.
It's got to 100%.
He hadn't put that in the plans originally. So, 1896, it took about 10 years for him to get this pool added to the designs.
What?
Wait, 10
What
years?
else was he doing?
No, not 10 years.
How long does it take? Okay, because I was going to say, how long does it take?
20 years. Sorry.
How long does it take to draw a circle?
So construction started back up in 1926. And
And by this point, he's a million years old.
yes, or at least 20 years older. And at a cost of about $1.2 million, or $17.8 million adjusted for inflation, the Baker Hotel was built. Now, it sounds like a lot. I don't know how much hotels cost. I know in Monopoly they're fairly cheap and they pay for themselves quickly.
That's how all hotels work, yeah.
But yeah, that's about the extent of it.
Oh shit, really?
Monopoly is a documentary game.
You think he built
Is
4
that the
houses
joke,
before
or-
he built the hotel?
That's a joke, yeah.
Oh,
This whole goddamn episode.
That's funny.
Now that
That's
was
funny.
funny. So, oh man, I don't even know where I was now. So, what did we say? $17.8 million. Sounds like a lot. Let me tell you what you get for the money, all right?
Hit me with it.
Get a pool.
The Baker Hotel was 14 stories
20
tall.
years.
Sorry.
You do get a pool. 14 stories tall.
Having some trouble there?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. So,
I'm just said hit me with it. I'm so sorry. I have a problem. All right, I'm done.
You're good. You're good.
I'm done.
So the hotel was 14 stories tall. Towers over everything else in town. It's a behemoth compared to the shacks that are kind of set up in town. There's a mansion, quote unquote, in town called Miller Mansion. It's a 3-bedroom house.
Ooh, that's living.
Yeah.
That's smaller than my apartment.
So you get 14 stories of awesome. It also had a lot of amenities. It had, well, before that, it had 450 guest rooms, 2 ballrooms, and then it had a beauty shop, a bowling alley, a gymnasium, and an Olympic-sized pool out front. So not just a circle. It was a rectangle. So all this is in the middle of nowhere, and it opened days after the stock market crash of 1929.
Nice. That's
Yes.
good timing.
Catching the depression early with this brand new giant hotel. Obviously, this hotel is going to fail, right? Wrong! I wrote that in.
All caps. Wrong.
I gotta remember to say it like that.
So the hotel was a huge success early on. It had a state-of-the-art hydraulic system to push cold mineral water into the rooms. It had a discreet disposal system for dirty laundry. It had automatic lights that were connected to the locks on the doors. So when you came in and locked the door, the fan would kick on, the lights would kick on, and then they would turn off when you left.
That's really impressive for back then.
Yeah, it's really cool. The fact that it had lights at all in Texas in the 20s is impressive.
Fair enough.
So, and it was fully air conditioned by the 40s. What?
Killing it.
I didn't even write that in. I just remember it.
Nice.
Going off book. I
Going
see
off
you.
book.
Flexing.
I see you flexing on them, boy.
So, the mineral water brought a lot of celebrities to town. There's a list of a few. Glenn Miller, Lawrence Welk, Clark Gable, Helen Keller, Ronald Reagan, Judy Garland, and Lyndon B. Johnson.
I don't know why. I thought
Who-
Helen Keller was funny. I'm sorry.
I have a lot of jokes that I'm not going to say.
That's for the best.
Do you follow Helen Keller on Twitter? Because it's so good.
What?
Yeah, Helen Keller. It's
Let me
obviously
look
fake,
this
but
up.
it's a Twitter
You
account.
did not have to say it was fake.
But like,
I don't think.
a lot of the tweets are just random letters and stuff. But then one day it tweeted out like, "I read an awesome basketball today."
It said what? It said what?
It said I read a great basketball today.
What does that mean?
Because she was
Yeah,
blind.
'cause Braille?
so-
She's
Braille.
blind and deaf.
Oh. Oh my.
All I'm finding is a tweet that says, "You don't think Helen Keller was an absolute 9-piece?"
Oh man.
That's all I can find.
Oh man.
Okay, so I'm just moving
she was
on.
also
Moving
immune
on.
to flashbangs.
That is a useful fact to know.
Bleach and clear, bleach and clear.
Yeah. She's just standing there like, no.
She didn't even know it happened.
I'm gonna have to cut all of this out.
No.
No. Is this appropriate to joke about? Did we decide where that line was?
Look, I read this on Twitter, so I didn't say it.
So it must
Okay,
be factual.
okay.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
you go.
fine.
Yeah. Oh, so it's fine.
It's fine.
You might have to clean it up a little.
I read
bit.
on Twitter that Hurricane Dorian was gonna hit Arkansas, and I saw a map.
Alabama.
Oh yeah, that's the one. It's the same thing.
Oh.
Arkansas. Okay.
I was reading the word Arkansas when I said
I always have fun just listening to these and then just tracing the dots on exactly where we got derailed and how we got to Helen Keller.
Yeah.
From,
that. And
Yeah.
then listening for like the abrupt cuts where you remember something was said, but no one else knows.
Yeah.
I work really hard to cover
Oh.
up a lot of the stuff I cut out.
You guys will
Yeah,
never
I
know.
listened to the second episode and I was like, wait, we were talking about frogs for like 10 minutes. This was 30 seconds. That's
So,
for the best. Good, good
I'm
on
glad I
you.
know I can say anything and you can just cut it out.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for the information.
Yeah, but he'll like,
Do
like,
we
again,
know
he'll hoard those sound bites for
Oh,
later
yeah.
in life. It'll just come back and haunt you.
Oh
I've
man,
got
that's,
a lot of
I
offensive
plan on
stuff
having.
Ethan
I plan on
said.
having a
Fine.
career.
I've
So
If
been
he ever
that-
runs for office, I'm busting it out.
yeah, probably not. I plan on having a career. So yeah, probably not. Probably not a good idea for me.
So,
Yeah.
all these celebrities
Pull up to the function.
Helen
Okay,
Keller.
we're with you.
came to experience the mineral water's wonderful healing effects. Probably not equally effective on all
No.
people. Before anyone says anything, it does
stopped.
colds and stuff.
I stopped myself.
So this made Mineral Wells a top-tier spa destination in the middle of nowhere in Texas in the 20s. But still, that's impressive.
Wait, where's it at? The middle of nowhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, if you start going into nowhere,
Is it
you
right-
want to go about halfway and then look around a little bit and you'll be there.
Wouldn't it be in the middle? It'd be in the
Yeah,
middle.
like
of
toward the
nowhere.
middle.
Okay, cool.
Like, but you have to start and go
Still
toward
what's
the
going
center.
on,
You can't
huh?
go like, away from the center and go halfway, because then you'll be closer to an edge.
Mm.
Anyway, eventually doctors started making real medicine. Advances in antibiotics meant that there was less interest in the mineral water, and the hotel's popularity declined. That is, until Fort Walters Air Force Base opened up down the road. This brought in a whole bunch of soldiers, a whole bunch of,
Military types.
military types, a whole bunch of people with money and R&R time. So business picked up in town, hotel
Railroads.
picked back up in town.
Railroads?
Yes, R&R Railroad.
I play Monopoly.
Hey, did you hear it was a documentary?
Whoa. I'm not gonna keep this going. So there's not much more to say about the hotel until 1972, when it was officially closed down. The
Why was it
building's
closed down.
Money, I guess.
So, okay. Continue.
So the building is structurally condemned, meaning it's not safe. That's what they'll tell
Why'd
you
you
when
put
you try to
that
go
one?
in.
That seems like a weird thing to. I feel like it wouldn't be
Okay,
safe.
because it's the next sentence, which is trespassing is an arrest on site offense in town.
Oh,
I don't
Yes.
want to go anywhere
Feel like that's
structurally
just a thing.
condemned anyway.
Well, I was a kid there, and I'm very interested in seeing the inside of it.
Oh, well, you didn't die. That's a good.
wait.
like-
So we're gonna take. You want to take a trip up there?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
We can't even go in.
So, okay.
No, we can.
So, if you'll let me get to the next sentence. So, the hotel's been bought and a restoration effort is underway. It's planned to
Oh, okay.
reopen in 2022. I don't know the investor.
I don't know that I'll be alive in 2022. That's
I
so
don't
far
either.
ahead.
I haven't planned for
That's
it.
pretty bleak.
Wow.
I plan on being.
Wow.
alive.
Yeah, me too.
Wow. yeah.
I don't know about
So-
y'all.
I'm fine.
let's-
Don't worry about it.
Let's talk after the podcast.
So restoration is underway. I don't know who the owner is, but I do know the architect is a friend of my mom's because she grew up in that town. And apparently, we might be able to get in.
Yeah, why not?
Good
I'm
reaction,
sure.
everybody.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Well, that's not
that was mine.
that doesn't
That's
mean
fair.
anything.
Oh.
That doesn't mean anything until I keep reading.
Okay.
So, so the hotel's closed, but it still manages to capture a lot of local interest and interest from people who stumble upon it. And that's because of part 3, The Ghosts of the Baker Hotel.
Oh, yes.
Oh man.
So there are dozens of different ghost stories associated with the
Nice.
Baker. Dozens. I picked some of my favorites. And I should preface this by saying I don't believe in ghosts. I just don't buy it.
Well,
you know?
please believe they believe in you. So
Do they?
they do.
What have they ever
Yeah.
given me?
That's kind of
I'm not
fucked up.
seeing them
Nightmares?
listening to this.
Cold chills.
Maybe they've protected you.
They're gonna break another one of our fucking mic cables.
Oh,
Keep
no.
talking
Like,
shit
fucking
like that.
playing around.
The
yeah.
ghost in the machines.
Jordan,
what did it broke?
do you believe in ghosts? What's your stance on ghosts?
Yeah, where are you
Do I-
at on ghosts?
I feel like I'm Christian and
Do
technically
you
the
believe
Holy
in Call of
Spirit
Duty
goes-
ghosts?
Okay. Okay.
I was saying,
Continue.
I guess because I'm semi-religious, technically they would be considered a spirit is kind of a ghost.
Uh-huh.
So in a sense, I don't know if you're talking about in like the sense of the horror movies. I don't know, maybe to an extent, but not as extreme. Yeah.
So, when I went to church, what my pastor told me was that ghosts are demons pretending to be people to earn your trust.
That's cute. My church
haven't
told
heard
me
that
that
interpretation.
homosexuality will send you to hell, and now I'm gay, so.
Mine also told me something.
You
yeah,
know-
well, it's not perfect. We
It's a
we
different story. but-
live. We live. The point is that went way left. The point is that technically those are like I would assume that's like spirits, somewhat ghosts in the realm of ghosts.
Yeah.
So I guess when you think about it that way, but no, not like
Like, do
Not
you
like
believe
the
that you
not
could
like
see a
poltergeist and
ghost?
stuff like that.
say it again.
Like, if you went to a haunted place, would you be like, I might see a ghost?
I don't think that they would it would be manifested that extremely. No.
So you think it's more of like an echo of a person?
Like, and I don't know what it takes
Echolocation.
for people to like say that they got in contact, haven't been getting in contact with. I don't know. It's just like these. I think they exist, and I'm not sure it's something that reaches out to humans, or if they do, it's in ways that maybe we can't comprehend. I don't know. I haven't this is the most thought that I've put into
Like
it.
Snapchat.
Huh?
Huh?
No.
That's how people reach out to me in a way that I can't really comprehend.
That's because you're old. No, but
The same age.
no, we're not. I am at least 21. No, but yeah. So I guess that's what I would say. Why? What do you think, Norm?
Well, I'm actually going to jump in since I'm holding the mic that we're sharing. I'm
Ooh,
just
that's
gonna go
it.
ahead.
Oh, shit.
But it also kind of relates to, so like my stance, cause I grew up very religious and I still am religious. Even though I went to like a super conservative church and I'm not, they never really talked about ghosts, but
An Old Testament church?
it was a mix.
Because I grew up in the country. It was all Old Testament.
I grew up just north of the country.
Brimstone and fire.
Oh,
Yeah, a
man.
little bit of that, but a little bit of like, it's okay to repent, but like that doesn't matter. It's, I do believe in ghosts. I don't think, when I go to haunted places, which I'm gonna be honest, I do a lot more than, maybe I'm just more aware. But I don't ever think I'm gonna see something, but a lot of time, this is gonna get really weird, just bear with me.
I'm ready.
Ah! She said she had a bear with her, guys.
I have nothing to say to that.
Alright, keep going.
So I think, so my dad died when I was 16, and I think that he follows me. Like a lot of, like, in all of the places that I've lived, besides home and even at home, like I would hear like tapping on my wall, and my dad would do that when he was alive. He would tap down the hall when he would come down the hall just to mess with me, or like, if I would turn around, he would just turn off my lights and stuff, and every now and then they'll just flicker. Or, like he would just do like little annoying at the time things, but now when they happen, it's like, oh, what's up? Glad you're checking in.
So it's a positive feeling.
Yeah.
I'd rather that than the
That's good.
alternative.
Most of the
Yeah.
time. I don't think it's always him. And I don't think, and again, this is super fringe.
Yeah.
I don't think he's the only one that follows me. Cause, like in my old apartment when I was there alone, it was dark all the time. Even with the lights on, it just felt really dark. But, and then when I could kind of feel like this is so, I haven't really talked about this.
Oh man, this is intense.
I feel like we should clear the couch so you can lay down.
Well, no, I don't like, I know it sounds really crazy.
No, but I mean, I've heard
Yeah.
other stuff. You'd be surprised. That's why I'm not.
I mean, this is what the podcast's for, right?
I don't think so. But
Creepy
continue.
things.
Oh.
Creepy things and, the possibilities and
Yeah,
what ifs
just
and-
having good. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Lester Show.
But like there would be in my old apartment there was a very like heavy energy sometimes. But I could, like when weird tapping would happen or whatever else, like I could tell if it was my dad or not. And then like when I took this trip to England, my door would jiggle a lot, and there would be knocking at my door, and that was not my dad. It always felt very like mischievous, I guess.
I've always just
So-
assumed English people were creepy like that, though. So,
Right, I was staying with a bunch of Americans. I was staying with a bunch of other students
and
from
the
school.
English people know that. Have you seen Taken?
There was no one in the dorm
I know that was like
besides
France
us,
or
but-
something, but
Yeah, I think that was Paris, but go off.
You think that do you think that it was something evil?
I don't know if it was evil. It just wasn't my dad,
Right.
is what I know for sure.
Not evil, just kind of a dick.
if
Yeah.
I was a ghost, that's how I'd be.
Better than that, than the
Like
alternative.
100%.
Solid. Solid.
Fucking Tanner, man. He keeps
That's
Same thing if I got
interesting, man.
superpowers.
That's interesting for
Like,
sure.
I wouldn't be a bad guy, but
I've heard
like an anti-hero.
different
It'd be
stories
kind of
from
a
different
dick.
people,
Yeah.
so I don't know. That's interesting. Maybe.
Yeah.
And if it's approached as a feeling, I imagine something like that. But anywho, back to
And
you.
then, like, also, sorry, maybe it is just like a coping mechanism. It was a long time ago, but like, I don't know. Maybe that's just how I cope with it. Maybe I'm just imagining all of it. I'm open to that possibility, but
Yeah, who knows? I don't know.
So my thoughts anyway. I'm pretty much in the middle. I've had weird experiences, but I feel like they can also be like scientifically
Explained,
proven.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have a ghost story. I just don't believe in ghosts. But I have something that I have no other explanation for. But I'm still in my head. It's just like, well, it's out there. I just don't know what it is.
I don't. I want to hear y'all stories. Do we not have time for that?
I mean, I
Maybe
can tell
another-
my ghost story.
Maybe
real
another
quick.
time.
do that as a Halloween special.
Yeah.
I have something I want to talk about for a Halloween special, which I'll talk to you guys about it later. But I have an idea.
Do you want to finish the story and then talk about weird experiences?
I can tell my ghost story real quick. It takes like 2 minutes.
All right.
Go
I'm pretty
for
sure
it.
I've told it on Channel 3. Like, once.
This is
I
the
can't
movie.
remember.
So, years ago, probably 2011, I went and saw a movie called The Devil Inside,
Mm-hmm.
I think is what it's
Yeah.
called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Off
up
to
there.
a bad start. Continue.
Already, yeah.
So it's a movie. It's a found footage ghost film about people going to the Vatican and seeing an exorcism and like a nun with a ghost and her eyes were all glazed over. I don't really remember it.
Cute.
I have it, but I haven't seen it in a long time. Anyway, went and saw that with the girl I was dating at the time who was raised in a Catholic household. She refused to speak about it when we got out and swore to never watch it again. Very traumatic for her.
Why the hell she go with you to that?
I don't know.
It's not. I remember
It's
the
a horror
advertising for that. That wasn't like a secret what it was about.
Yeah,
But
I think it just hit her harder than she thought it would have.
yeah,
So we were in high school, so I was dropping her off, and her parents' house, the way it was situated, it was kind of back from the road, long winding driveway, longish winding driveway, and you pull up to kind of a car park area with a garage, and then the house. The door you pull up to is the back door, and the laundry room is the first thing that you walk into when you walk into the house. So, and the laundry room overlooks the driveway, basically. So we pull up, it's about 2. We saw the midnight show. And in the laundry
mistake
room...
number 2.
Hell yeah.
In the laundry room, I saw the lights on, and the light was behind a silhouette of a person who was just standing there. When we pulled up, the lights went off, and that was it. I was like, hey, good night. And I assumed that was your mom, so tell your mom I said good night and all that stuff. And so I start pulling out of the driveway, and she calls me, and she's like, my mom's asleep. Her door's locked. She's been passed out for hours. Like, my dad's not home. I don't know who that was.
What did you say you saw pulling up?
Pulling up, it was the laundry room with the lights on and just a black silhouette. So it was like the light was behind them. But I've seen that laundry room, and like, that's not really how it works. But in my head, like, that didn't hit me. Because I was just like, oh, someone's in the laundry room. I guess it's your mom. Tell her good night. It definitely wasn't. Her mom was asleep with the door locked for hours. Don't know who was in the house. But nothing bad ever happened. I'm pretty sure she's still alive and kicking. So we don't really talk anymore. But
Don't imagine. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't know how to. I haven't had any weird.
and she was
experiences.
already freaking out from the movie. So
I bet that's why she called. She was like,
Yeah.
tripping. Yeah,
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 she's
that's
like,
funny.
nope.
Damn. What about you, Baster?
I'm kind of in the middle about everything. Because I haven't had any weird experiences.
Yeah, me
but
neither.
I've heard of a lot of them. So
Me too.
oh, my mom's
And I
got
like-
stories.
like trustworthy people too. So I'm not like, oh, you're just lying about that.
That's what I'm
shit,
saying.
you know?
It's just like,
Man.
yeah, fuck.
So it's weird. I mean, the world is weird, you know. So I'm really open to like all that shit. So it could be possible.
just give
you
one.
know.
Give one of yours things, Norm. I just want to hear just one of your weird experience.
It'd
It'd be like short.
Mine's really, I got a really quick one. It was like back when I used to live in Indiana, and
Oh, that is spooky. Let's keep going.
So,
Mistake number 1 yet again.
because like nothing's up there except for like corn and death. So
And like the latter is very terrifying.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it was really quick. It was like 1 in the morning,
Fucking idiot.
and I
get
came
scared of
downstairs
corn and
to
ladders. Got it.
I came downstairs to get some out of the fridge real quick, just like a snack or something like that. And as I was coming downstairs, opened the fridge, grabbed what I needed, ate it, drank whatever, and I started walking over to where the light was, which was in the corner. And as I got close, I noticed that there was like a figure there, and I was like, "Oh, it's obviously my shadow." So I stepped, because I was kind of freaked out. But I was like, "It's my shadow, whatever." But as I got closer, normally like a shadow gets bigger, and it stayed the same size. And like I felt like it was like an intense black.
Mm.
It wasn't like just a shadow black. It was like something was there.
Yeah.
And for a split second, I I'd say probably about 2 seconds, 1.5 even. I was kind of paralyzed. Cause like that fear that hits you, that's like, you're so confused and you're so scared and you're just don't know what's happening. You just can't move.
You're analyzing, trying to decide if you're about to run or fight.
Yeah.
And in that point, I was about to fight and I couldn't run. So I was like, I guess I'm gonna die. And then,
That's not fighting.
did it feel evil?
if it's okay, so this is a weird thing. And honestly, I'm kind of similar to you. Like, I'm kind of like analyzing this now, looking back. I've talked about it before, but like analyzing it. If I were to say, like, if I were to explain kind of, you know what a doppelganger is, right?
Yeah.
So like, a copy of you that basically wants to take you and, it kind of felt like that. Like,
And be the real you.
it was a negative feeling.
Yeah, I've seen
Exactly.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet either.
No red
intense.
jumpsuit though. Weird.
It's fine.
Whatever.
Fair.
Anyway.
But yeah, and then so in those couple
Lyrics
seconds,
were
like I
deep.
swear, like the blackness kind of faded and just went to like a normal shadow black, and I was like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah, and then just went back up to the
I was like,
room.
"Well, turn the light off. I'm heading to bed and
That's crazy.
jump back on the PlayStation."
Fuck,
Yeah, that's
man.
crazy.
I ain't never had no shit.
Oh,
You
man.
need the
Uh-uh.
But like, I'm pretty
Nope.
sure,
I'll have
like
to get-
my.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm pretty sure it was like maybe like just the way the light was hitting and like, I was young. That's how I remember it. Scientifically, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. I'm with Bailey. I'm right in the middle.
I
I'll
hadn't
have to
had any,
get,
and I wonder if you need some type of a spiritual awareness or whatever it is to be, or what makes you the one that they reach out to or whatever the fuck, man. I don't know.
No, I don't know. It wouldn't be me. I don't know why they would have been reaching out to me.
Yeah,
But-
I don't. Maybe it was.
Well, you don't
trying to give you a
necessarily
sign.
choose it. Again, I know it sounds crazy, but like, you don't necessarily choose it.
No, I just mean like in general. I wouldn't reach out to me. I don't know why they
Yeah,
would.
you're not a very likable guy.
They don't know better.
Have you met
That's
you?
why.
Like
That's
they would
fair,
reach
yeah.
out to me and be like, "I need you to finish my unfinished
Hey,
business."
have you talked to
That
this
sounds like a
guy?
lot.
It'd be like,
He's a fucking
no.
dick.
I just imagine
Hey,
Tanner,
let's go,
like the
let's go
ghost.
haunt Tanner.
Yes.
Nah, that guy.
I'm not trying to do. He's such an ass. I don't want to do that.
Just imagine Tanner, like the
Go
ghost,
haunt somebody
like,
else.
Tanner, please help me with my unfinished business. It's like, I don't believe in you. Walk past.
That's what it is.
Hey, good costume, man.
Oh man, I'll have to get one of our listeners, one of our best listeners, is my cousin, and they lived in a. If you ask my mom or my aunt or either of my cousins, a very haunted house called Shadow Lawn.
Yes.
Before
Lawn.
I don't even, man.
before they bought it, it was a boarding home,
Yep.
and it had like people in and out all the time, and they've got crazy stories of that place. I remember being a kid and going up to the attic to get a tube for the pool because we were swimming and I couldn't really swim yet. And I remember going up there and just like the whole walk up to the attic, it was wooden stairs and just being like, this, I don't like this.
Yeah,
And I'm too young to understand why, but I don't like it.
for sure.
But yeah, maybe I can get a story out of them.
All right, well, enough of that. I was way too inquisitive for shit like that. So I'm done.
So,
yeah, moving on.
So let's talk about the Ghost of the Baker now. Out of all of them out there, I picked 4 of my favorites, and a lot of them were stories that I grew up hearing.
Oh, we're actually
So-
still on the subject. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah, we're
Okay.
still talking about
That's how we branched out, Emily. Remember this?
But this
where
is this is a step backward because this isn't a very personable experience. The first one, this is the fresh air ghost, is what this one's called.
Doesn't sound very scary.
That's well,
Exactly.
those don't have to be scary, you know?
Nah, they do.
Yes, they do. No, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Did you not even see Beetlejuice? It's like in the handbook.
Ah,
She doesn't read.
It's kind of like an
Third?
audio.
All right.
It's
Okay.
like an audio book, but
Is that
they
not what
just
you
write it
said?
out for you.
But it has pictures.
So the fresh air ghost is an interesting one, I think, because I guess while technically the ghost would have to live on the property, or live undead on the property, the people observing it, they were not on the property at any point. So there was a motor bank across the street from the Baker in the 90s.
Okay, quick question. What's
Yes.
a motor bank?
It is a bank, but
On wheels?
you drive through it.
Oh, just, okay.
It's only for cars.
Okay.
And the tellers
I
help
didn't know
people
what that
in
was
their
called.
cars. It was before drive-up ATMs. Actually, it was the 90s, so it wasn't. But it's mineral wells, so it probably was.
Yeah, yeah.
Wild. So it's
So,
not where you store motors.
And actually, there's still a motor bank there that like it. When you drive by it, you're like, oh, I'm in the 50s again. That's neat. It's really weird. Anyway,
Was there slavery back then?
in Mineral Wells,
Probably not.
maybe.
Probably not. Yeah, probably not neat.
And so in this motor bank, there was a teller who basically she had 40-hour weeks of staring at this hotel, right? Which, and I have a picture of the hotel for y'all to look at.
Yeah, let's see it.
This story is from memory, so I don't really need to read it. So she had 40-hour weeks of just staring at this hotel.
The place looks cool.
That's really cool.
Like
It's
on top.
really-
Fuck.
Yeah.
Just because you
You're
know
right.
now.
Yeah,
like looking
yeah,
at it
some
before,
shit, but
though.
even before, bro, I still would have made that. Still would have said that.
That's pretty.
And so
Sounds like a place of death.
she would stare at this hotel all day, and she noticed one day that the windows that had been open the day before were closed, and that the windows open today were different ones, right? And so she kind of kept watching
So they
it.
didn't get much business, huh?
No. So the hotel could hold like 2,500 people, and there were 6,000 people in town. So it could hold almost half of the people that live in town, basically, when it was built. So, but this was the 90s. There were at least 8 more people in town by then.
Sounds good.
So she noticed that the windows were changing, open and closed, and she started kind of
Oh, and
observing.
this is after it was condemned,
Yeah,
right?
this was 20
Okay.
years after it closed.
Got it.
She was observing and trying to find a pattern or something like that, maybe. And so she assumed it was like a groundskeeper or a caretaker who would go in and air out the rooms. I'm not going to dignify that. No.
That's why I didn't say it in the mic. It's a bad joke. Dumb joke.
She assumed it was like a caretaker or a groundskeeper or something like that, and never really thought anything of it. Like she would tell her friends, like, "Oh, hey, the windows are different," and they would all go, "Oh, yeah, the windows are different." But there's never been a groundskeeper at the hotel since it was condemned. No one has ever lived there. No one has ever had the job of going inside, and there's no real reason that this should have been happening.
Then
Yeah,
how do they
I don't like
enforce
this story,
the
man.
arrest on site?
huh?
How do they enforce the arrest on site then?
Police drive by. It's on a road.
Well, I'm just saying.
And you can usually see people's flashlights because they go in at night. So, but I think probably most likely it was squatters.
So, I mean, let's say
The windows were just changing, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
just
okay.
like opening up and closing windows.
My bad. What were you gonna say?
so let's say like I decide to go in right with my flashlight,
Yeah,
and the cops find me.
yeah.
Yeah, well, they're waiting outside for me. I look outside. I'm like, dang, the cops found me. As long as I don't go outside, like, I'm good. They can't arrest me because they can't come in.
I'm pretty
can't-
sure they could come in.
Because if they come in, then
Then
there's
they have to arrest themselves.
They'll have to arrest themselves. Exactly.
Oh, trespass.
It's like,
Exactly.
Oh, fuck.
Oh wait, no. But that,
No.
I'm sorry.
He
Like
walks in. Oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
He starts handcuffing himself.
Sorry, Jerry, I
walked. Norman sees the police outside and he's like, "Shit, I guess I live here now."
Never
Okay,
leaving
I will
again.
ask
Welcome,
them.
buddy.
Who said that?
I will ask though, if you think it's squatters, why would they mess with the windows?
I don't know, why not? What else are you
Fresh
gonna do
air.
there? Yeah, fresh air.
Fresh air goes.
The air
It all
conditioning
comes
hasn't
back.
been on in
What's a squatter?
someone who goes to an abandoned place and just lives there.
Okay, that's not
Like-
what I was thinking. But anyway, I'm joking.
We're not gonna get into that.
But yeah,
No, like
Okay,
so
that's
so
what
I
I figured.
used
That's
to
what
be
I'm
really into like urbex and like exploring abandoned stuff.
yeah.
And they would always, if you go to forums, which I did because I'm like that, the people always talk about like the most dangerous thing isn't going to be security or the police. It's
Right.
going to be
Man, it's the
squatters.
most dangerous.
Because
People-
game.
they've got
Checking out
nothing
there.
left to lose and you're on their turf now.
Yeah.
So-
Damn, man.
I just keep thinking like different things that squatters could be. It's, like, it's just ripped dudes that go to the gyms, like squat 850 and shit.
And then they're just all there, just the windows up. They're squatting the window.
Lifting with the knees.
God damn it, squatters again.
Or somebody's in there just shitting and they have to put the window up.
They're just shitting there.
Damn.
with their squatty potty.
Fresh air goes,
man.
god damn.
It's hard to make
I don't
it
know why
through
that
this
one got me
while
so
I'm laughing
bad.
so hard.
Damn.
All right, so now we're going to tell the story of the boy and his elevator.
Oh, man.
I don't like where this is going.
Yeah, me neither.
So, the hotel's condemned. you can't go in there.
Still.
Supposedly.
But if you know the right people or have the right paperwork or don't care about that, people still go in there.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It happens. Up until it was bought by the new owners, there was someone who was like a local, and you could just be like, hey, can I go check out the baker? And he'd be like, yeah, go for it. It's fine.
So arrest on site is a lie.
If you don't have permission.
Okay.
Right. So,
Continue.
and before that, like people just stayed there because it was a hotel. So that also happened up until the 70s.
When is this story?
Through a lot of the time.
Oh, okay.
So one thing that the guests and the investigators have in common, and there have been like a couple of ghost shows that have gone, like those lame ghost hunter shows, have gone there.
Don't speak ill.
No, like the actual lame ones.
Oh,
You know?
those are the best ones. Those are fun.
Oh my god.
One
They're
thing...
they're dumb and it's great and they yell a lot.
I haven't seen any, so you're right. Who am I to judge?
One thing that the investigators and the guests have in common in their stories is a boy. Not a little boy, a teenage boy, but he's still known as the boy ghost. And no one really knows who he is, but there's a pretty good theory going around. And that is, and I'm going to do my best because there's conflicting stories on how it is this boy died. But what we do know is that he's dead. My grandmother, actually, when she was 14, spent a summer operating an elevator at the hotel. And she was able to confirm that he did die while the hotel was open, but not how it happened. But somehow, this guy got crushed between floors on the elevator. Right? So the elevator had those manual cranks. You move it up and down, and you have to line it up with the floors. The most popular story is that he was dicking around one day. He cranked the elevator to go really fast, and he would run and try to slide into it while it was going past his floor, right? You gotta do something to entertain yourself.
Not that.
Yeah.
And one day, he just didn't make it all the way in,
Yeah.
right? That's one theory. No one knows for sure, but that's the one that I always heard when I was younger, and so that's what I go with. Anyway, a lot of people can say, or a lot of people do say, that they see this boy walking around now. That's just one of the ghosts. That's what happened to him. Got crushed in an elevator. But it was interesting. I actually called my grandmother while I was writing this to confirm. And she said, yeah, that happened. I remember that. So, that was neat.
Cool.
I liked that one. I mean, except for the part where the boy died.
Yeah.
And the whole
That's
ghost-
no good.
Yeah.
And the whole ghost thing.
Pretty insane. We kind of
I don't like that part.
up the unfinished business factor from fresh air ghost to a boy in his elevator. Like, how did fresh air ghost die?
No one knows. Probably
No oxygen.
suffocated.
Too much
Yeah.
air.
Oh, yeah.
Too much.
Not enough. I don't know.
Lungs
Air-
exploded.
Air overdose.
Anyway.
Damn.
Now I'm going to tell my favorite story. And this is my favorite story because it doesn't actually really have anything to do with the ghost, but it's spoopy, you know?
Yeah.
A little bit spoopy.
A little bit spoopy. So, one time, there was a tour hosted for a bunch of World War II veterans. They got to go and tour the hotel with their spouses, which was neat, I guess.
Why? Did
I
they
don't
do
know.
that?
Like a VA thing.
Okay.
Who knows?
I mean, I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Like, there were a lot
What
of
do
them
you got
that
against
lived
veterans?
in town.
No, okay, don't put words in my mouth.
Oh man, all on the
No.
podcast. What do you have against veterans? Yikes!
No. I was just wondering if there was like some significance that it had to World War II since it was open during World War II.
No, it
If
was just like
a fun.
it was just
activity.
a thing for them. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And so they toured the hotel, and there's a room called the Brazos Room, and the whole group walked in there for something.
Yeah, that's Katy Perry.
And sorry, I'm distracted. So this group walked into this room called the Brazos Room, right? And the story goes that one of the wives turned to her husband and said, "Did you hear that?" And he replied, "Why, yes, I did." And then the entire group reported hearing basically an active ballroom, dishes clanking, murmurs like tables of people talking to each other, and orchestra music playing.
I thought you said this had nothing to do with ghosts.
That no one said they saw a ghost. It was like they walked into history.
What the
And
fuck does
that's
that-
why it's so cool. It's because like if there was any basis of this in reality, they would be just experiencing history like years after it happened, which would be neat.
Which would be ghosts. They would be history from that's what that would be. History is not how would history manifest itself.
I don't know. Did you ever see the Tower of Terror movie based
No.
on the ride?
Uh-uh.
It's a movie based on a ride at Disney World. It has Kirsten Dunst, who is my cousin now. And yeah,
Wait,
she married
can we-
my cousin.
We talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
So she's famous?
Yeah, she played Mary Jane in Spider-Man.
What?
Yeah. She,
Yeah.
Holy
she
shit.
does a lot of shit.
Yeah, she just married
She-
my cousin, who I can't remember his name.
Did you know he this
never
man
met.
smoked hookah with Shaq?
Yeah.
I did smoke
He
hookah
has
with Shaq as
pictures.
well.
Yeah, right. Just these
For
random
what?
facts about Tanner. That's like
Doing
what?
Yeah. What? How?
So I used to work at and Shaq's daughter goes to school in Austin, and he comes to town actually quite a bit. You can see him on 6 a lot, but they always go to when he comes to town, and so like everyone there knew him really well. I just met him that once, but
DJ.
What's
the lounge.
Oh, okay. Man, that's some wild shit.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
But yeah,
But-
that,
Twilight
to your point,
Zone,
yeah.
Tower of Terror. It's
Didn't
about
they
a
just close that?
no. They still have the one in Florida open.
Oh, okay.
They closed the one in California.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, now it's a Guardians of the Galaxy
Yeah.
Okay.
ride.
It's not as cool. But in the movie, it's, a hotel and lightning strikes it, kills everyone in the elevator, and their ghosts are still there. And then at the end, like, the old lady who was the sister of the girl in the elevator, who it turns out summoned the lightning with a witch's spell to kill her sister,
Oh,
makes
that's
up with
sweet.
her sister, and they go to the party that she never made it to because the elevator never reached that floor. And it's like, they just walk back into the 40s or 50s or whatever. And so, like, that's kind of what it would be like for these people. Like, they just get to hear history going on around them.
so the voices were not those of ghosts; they were that of history.
It's the way that I imagine it. The way that I imagine it is like listening to a tape of like a microphone just being in that room that night. Basically, is what they heard.
So, but nothing was there.
No, they didn't see anything, and it wasn't like anyone talking to them. It was just like they walked. It was like walking through a party that just wasn't happening at the same time they were there.
Damn,
That's
I can't
crazy.
even. What do y'all think of that?
That's crazy.
That's why it's my favorite, is because it's just so weird.
yeah.
I don't know,
This has been going on for a minute.
It's got 8 minutes left.
Oh my god!
I kind of like the background, like video going on for the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
It's distracting.
I've been distracted most of the
Okay,
time by
okay,
it.
get rid of it. Get rid of it.
I don't know, man. I don't think it's necessarily ghosts, but I don't know. It'd be cool, like sci-fi wise. It'd be cool, like maybe some kind of like time ripple.
Yeah.
Oh,
or something
okay.
like that.
That
you know?
that I
Yeah.
could see. That's okay. I needed
Like,
something. I
that would
needed
just be
something like
cool
that.
to
some
experience.
superstitious shit still.
And like, I don't
Yeah,
believe in
still.
ghosts, but I definitely believe in history. And like, when you walk through a place,
Hold on.
no, it's gonna make sense. Let me tie it back around.
What about
Glad
her
we got
story?
that clear.
When you walk through a place with a really dense history, I believe that you can feel that. And so maybe that's
Okay,
what this was.
That's better, way better worded. I'm like,
Yeah, that was articulate.
who's out here not believing in history?
Have you seen?
Well-
That's when I lay in my bed.
oh
am I
man,
right,
we're doing
guys?
another movie recap episode.
No.
Have you seen 1408?
No. I
So-
think you can just kind
Wait,
of
what?
assume once again that I
John
haven't seen
Q's
any
1408.
movies.
I know.
No.
I just watched a review of it, but
John Cusack's character
That's not the
is
same thing at all.
a paranormal investigative writer who doesn't believe in ghosts, but he's looking for them because his daughter died too young, and he wants to prove an afterlife to make himself feel better,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And so they're interviewing him, and they're like, "Where's the best place to see a ghost? Like, have you ever actually seen one?" And he's like, I stood next to the tub where the woman drowned her 3 children and brushed my teeth in the sink." And he's like, you can feel that, and you can feel the darkness, but no, there's no ghosts. And so that's pretty much how I feel, you know?
Yikes! Yeah, I feel you.
I agree. I second that. Yikes.
Yeah, I can. I mean, yeah, I guess that's a little bit better of a explanation, I guess.
These nails are wild, man.
We're watching a
They're so
10-minute
intriguing.
ad for nails.
Dude,
Look
what
at
do
these
you look up?
claws.
It's just been playing rap videos this whole time, and now this is what, and I mean,
It's an ad.
What channel is this?
it's just YouTube.
Ooh.
Like, it's just their recommended mix. Alright, I've got one more ghost story. And this is an actual ghost
Does
story.
it have
God
anything to do
damn
with
it.
nails? Because otherwise I'm going to need
There's-
6 more minutes.
There's a woman in it, and I bet she had nails. So
I'm in.
Because they usually do.
yeah, like most
Typically.
people have.
Yeah.
My sister's missing.
She's like, yeah, dummy.
Okay, I have to come back to this.
Oh, man.
That was a
So
good take, though, Jordan.
this one is called "The Woman on the 7th Floor." Now, as you might have guessed, some people report a woman on the 7th floor. A woman dressed in white, and if they don't see her, a lot of people say that they smell women's perfume, or that they'll feel a soft touch on their shoulder as they're walking the 7th floor.
Can I
J-Mac just
can
shaking
I
his head
derail
right
this
now.
real
Nope.
quick?
Yeah.
Because like it's always
Don't
like,
like it.
oh man, I
Like a
smell the
little soft
perfume of
touch
a
on the
woman.
shoulder.
No, I got a
bro.
woman for that, bro.
What if it's a man's perfume?
Well,
You know?
So here's,
Cologne.
Cologne? Yeah.
No.
Collagen.
It's
Come on.
2019.
but I think that's the thing too. Like, oh, I smell the scent of a man.
Cologne.
What if like you
Cologne.
walk into somewhere and it just stank?
That'd be dudes.
Yeah,
We all know that.
but like typically it's like, oh man, someone farted here. What if it's a ghost?
It's the asshole
Yeah,
ghost.
the guy-
It's the asshole ghost.
The guy who farted is like, yo, it's a ghost.
The asshole ghost.
Okay, so soft touch on the shoulder, all that stuff. So here's what we do know. We do know that there was a woman named Virginia Brown who was the mistress of T.B. Baker, the man that owned the hotel. She maintained a corner suite on the 7th floor of the Baker Hotel.
That's what I'm
I
trying to
assume for doing it. Right? That's got to be
do.
what
It's a
that's
give
for.
and take.
Yeah. She gets a room.
Give and take. That's really funny in prompts that you said that like that. I enjoyed that. Continue.
No, you're good. You're good. So that's what we know. That's a fact. She was there. She had that room. The rest of this is potentially legend. I wasn't able to confirm it, but
That's
I can
what
tell
we're here
you
for.
this was another story that I heard a lot growing up. So, and this is the way that I heard it. So Virginia was his mistress, and she eventually wasn't thrilled about that. Like I imagine would be the case. You know,
Yeah.
that's just how that would go.
I get that.
That's why you can't catch feelings with the sugar daddies.
Right. So yes, exactly. So if there's one thing I know, it's that.
We got questions after this.
You know the answer.
Yes, we do.
I do not have a sugar daddy, but I do have multiple offers. It's a whole thing. Don't tweet jokes about sugar
I
daddies.
want to know about. Okay,
we talked about this last episode, right?
We'll get
I
after
think so.
after
Yeah,
Tanner
yeah.
finishes. We'll get.
Yeah,
into
I'll
this.
tell you later.
So I'm back.
Back on topic.
So Virginia asked T.B. Baker to leave his wife. He didn't
They
want to
always
do that. Yeah.
Bitch, is you crazy? TV Baker.
All right, here's the thing, right? If we get a merch shop, I want that shirt.
Yeah.
I want that shirt anyway.
I will design that shirt tonight
Oh
after
my
y'all leave.
Oh my god. Some like old school looking ass dude.
Oh, man.
Bitch, is
And it's
you
just-
crazy?
Oh, it's gonna say that across the front, TB Baker underneath, and then it's gonna have our logo on one arm and J Max logo on the
It's
other
gonna be
arm.
a fake. It's just a collab, but it's just a fake quote. You put it in quotes. Fucking dash TV Baker. Whenever the fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Jeez.
man. So, he didn't want to leave his wife, obviously. He just said it. There's a great quote about it.
Yeah.
And, so Virginia didn't take that well, reportedly. She decided to have a few drinks,
We've
Until
been
she
there.
was-
We've all been there.
quite drunk, and then she put on her swimsuit.
Uh-oh.
Now, here's what you need to know about the hotel.
There's
The
a pool.
Olympic-sized pool is out front. I would say too far to jump away from the hotel.
Oh no.
It's about further than you can jump, right?
Not if you're Spider.
Between the pool and the hotel, there is
Well, I guess if you're Spider-Man,
there
yes.
is a 3-lane carport, and then an extra lane on the outside, and then several feet of walkway, and then several feet of grass, and then the pool, right? So
Was she-
Virginia put on her swimsuit.
She was not Spider-Man. I'm gonna just go
Okay,
ahead
I
and
was
say
like,
that.
I gotta ask, was she Spider-Man?
She was not Spider-Man.
Okay, continue.
She was
Damn.
not able to leap
There's
tall
no-
buildings in a single bound
Damn.
either.
That was Superman.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
I was
Just
gonna say, there's a
clarifying.
couple superheroes that
Yeah,
could probably do it.
I would say like most of them.
So she put on her bathing
Let's
suit
make a list.
and she went up to the
Squirrel
top
Girl?
of the hotel, which had kind of a, what would you call it? It's like a deck.
a roof?
In the city, they'll put like plants up there and
Balcony?
benches, and people can go sit.
Uh,
What's that called?
A
You gotta hold the mic up
courtyard.
to your face when you say it, so people know it was you.
A courtyard.
A courtyard.
oh wow, okay.
It had like
Not
a
what I was
rooftop
doing.
courtyard.
Rooftop courtyard
with a bell
yeah.
tower. It's really nice. If you
Ooh.
remember the picture, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. It was up here, right there. She went up there, and
Where's the pool in this picture? Do you know?
yeah, so the pool would have been where Norman's hand is, basically.
Yeah, that's a bit far.
And so she leapt toward the pool from the roof of the hotel.
Wait, why is this man doing this?
Obviously, she shorted it, and she died. Now, a lot of people say it was suicide. Some people think that she was honestly going for the pool, but she was drunk. And some people think she was just taking a shot, and whatever happened, happened. You know? We've all done stuff like that. Not quite from 14 stories up, but
I was
still.
about to be like, motherfucker, no. No, I have not.
You have one of those things where you're like, I'm going to do this, and however it turns out, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I have experienced stuff
Yeah.
in my life.
That's I mean, I feel like that's like, you know, you go to fast food place and you go to a bar and you're like, hey, what's your favorite drink?
There are
And the bartender
definitely-
gives you just whatever. You're like, nah, whatever.
There are definitely levels of
Yeah.
extremity.
This is probably the top of the extreme list. Anyway, so the story is that it's her that you can see wandering the 7th floor of the hotel. Typically, she stays close by her suite, but some people say that on moonlit nights, if you look up toward the balcony, you know, the courtyard up there, you can still see her standing up at the edge, thinking about it, I guess.
So and this is not, I want to be very clear because what time is this? What year is this?
I don't know.
Okay. Because I'm still trying to figure out when is it okay to make fun. But
Here's the thing.
if
I wasn't able to confirm her suicide at all, just that she had a room on the 7th floor.
okay.
My granny,
So I'm in the clear.
my granny said that it definitely happened,
Okay.
but I couldn't find a paper trail for it.
Cool. So I'm in the clear.
Yeah, you're good.
So, like, if I was a ghost, right, and I tried to make that jump, I failed. I mean, I'm
Try
just gonna,
again?
yeah, like, at some point, you're like, I mean, I guess I can. I have time to get it.
You got nothing to lose.
This time I'm going to try a run up, see what happens. Maybe
When
kick
these-
off the ledge.
These
Ghost
ghosts that walk the hotel, do they interact with people? Do you know?
Oh, most people claim that they do, and I will say that,
Well,
like
I would say probably not interacting the way you think, like just a touch on the shoulder, not like a conversation.
Oh, okay, that's what I was. Yeah,
Yeah.
or something like intense like that. Yeah,
there have been. I have stories about Shadowlawn of ghosts interacting full on with people.
I
that's
would
a whole
like
other
to hear
thing.
that.
So one time, me and my cousin, we got real sunburnt at the pool, and my mom had put us down to bed, and she was very worried about us. She was staying in what was called the Bible room, because it was where the old
All right.
woman would sit in the rocking chair and read the Bible to the kids on Sunday mornings.
Okay. That's
Mom
pretty
woke up in
wholesome.
the middle of the night, and the old woman was sitting in the rocking chair, and she said, "Don't worry, the kids are fine." And Mom was like, "Oh, tight," and went back to sleep.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Jesus in heaven.
She swears by it.
I'd have been like, I don't even know. I can't even put myself in a. I don't even know if my body, if I'd even be able to comprehend that, or what I would do, or what would be the first step to like. I don't even.
I feel
I
like
don't know, man.
at
Step would be
that
like-
point, I'd be like, okay, like
Just
I'm pretty tired.
Don't.
No, I'd have to leave the room.
Really just
I'd have to leave the room.
I'd have to like walk back and go. Okay, I'm awake now.
I'd have to leave the room. I'd have
Slap
to get
myself
up.
a little
Yeah,
bit, just like splash some water in my face.
maybe
go back.
slowly.
There was, you want to hear some spooky ghost stories? Shadowlawn has them. Like one time, my uncle was gone on a hunting trip, and my aunt woke up and there was a man in full camouflage standing in the doorway, and she
How'd
was
she
like,
see him?
"Oh, you're back."
Thank you.
How'd she see him?
Huh?
If it was camouflage,
Oh, 'cause
how
it
did
was
she
camouflage.
This is
That's
sound a
good.
little
That's
fishy.
She just saw his head.
How did
Oh,
she
it's
see
a
him,
ghost.
Tanner?
So-
You said he had
Okay.
camouflage. How did she see the man, Tanner?
Yeah, I'm not buying this shit.
So she was like, "Oh, you're home early, cool," and she went back to bed. And then he wasn't home early the next day, It was just they ended up finding a picture of a soldier that had lived there. Probably him.
What?
Also, my uncle was asleep one time, and a little girl in a nightgown skipped into the room and like stood by the bed and said something to him. I don't remember what, and then skipped out. And he had a little girl, Christina. I mean, she's a grown up now. And so he was like, "Oh, it was Christina." And then he went out there to follow her, and she wasn't there, and Christina was in bed, not in a nightgown.
Yeah, man, I don't know. They seem relatively harmless, but I don't know. I don't want to luck out and get the wrong one.
There was a painting of a guy smoking a pipe, and there was smoke coming out of the painting.
Don't like that.
That's
I'm gonna
kind
do
of
a
cool.
thing real fast.
Anyway,
I'm gonna go to the restroom. So
that was
I'm
all
gonna
of my
hand y'all
stories.
The mic, so you guys have 2 mics.
Cool. Thank you.
that was all of the Baker stories that I reported on. There are more, and I encourage people to go read the rest of them because it's really, even if you don't believe in ghosts, it's a really fascinating place. And that's why I think for like our Halloween special, we should go out to the grounds and check it out and maybe do like a little mini report on it, you know?
Are we doing random
an
topics at this
audio.
point? Are we going? Is there anything you have planned? I have a question, a totally random thing on a totally random subject.
Yeah.
Back on the spooky
Oh, right, yeah,
stuff.
no, okay, no.
Spooky stuff.
Back to go. Well, I mean, yeah. I didn't know. Were we done? What are we talking about?
Yeah,
more ghosts?
no, we're done. That was the whole story.
I don't want to talk about more ghosts.
Why are you here?
I don't want to talk about more ghosts.
My dude's gonna drive home with some happy ass music on. Like, it's all
or
good.
my music or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Damn,
Everything is awesome.
I wasn't prepared for that. Wasn't prepared for
Oh,
that.
man. It's a really, really cool place, though. I've never been inside. I've been on the property and up to a doorway that was boarded up that I just couldn't get past with enough
That's kind of
confidence.
the point.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. Right, so you're like, yeah, we should all take a trip up there.
Yeah.
I'm black.
Yo, okay.
I
That's
don't,
important,
you know.
man, and that's my issue too. So I don't know if like I can do that, man. I don't really want to fuck with
I
that.
would-
Black
I
people don't
can't
really
say-
do
I can't
that.
speak for that area, but at least like I'm from near-ish there. Like Dallas is fine. You'll be fine.
But
Mineral
I don't-
Wells is
Mineral
a little
Wells is
behind the
outside of
times.
it,
I'm not going to
So
lie.
I can't promise anything outside of
Man, I
Dallas
wasn't-
and where I'm
It's kind of a
from, but
retirement
it's like,
community.
well, me and you talked. I'm from Irving,
Yeah, I'm
outside
from
of
Plano.
Dallas. Yeah. So I'm from over there. But you're saying go
I'm
to
from
the
Arlington.
Mineral. Oh wow, really? Yeah, my aunts live out there. My sister go to school in Arlington. The Mineral Wells is that's where you're talking about going, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the
check out
hotel from hearing all those stories.
It's one of
man.
those. It's one of those things where it's like we're not going to go in. We're just going to go check it out.
Well,
But you
why
know, just
can't
a
I
tip.
Look at a picture of it here and go,
Yeah, I don't know.
we're
man.
there.
I just wanna be-
don't know.
Add some birds, add some shotgun noises in the back.
I
I
want
wanna
to
be-
be nothing.
No, I feel you. I think me and you are on the same page.
Yeah.
Because when I say like, you know, I'm black,
Yeah, no,
I don't
it's-
mean like
it's white
it's
people
racist.
shit. I
I
get
don't
it.
mean that. I mean like, yeah, definitely.
Putting yourself
white
in that
people shit.
situation is white people
That's
shit.
white people
Yeah,
shit.
and I don't.
Yeah.
All
and,
right, fair enough.
And even if
I
we
accept.
were taking the race and the jokes aside, any regular person, I don't want to go nowhere. I'm hearing about no ghost stories, bro. White, black, if I was orange, I still wouldn't want to fucking go to no hotel. I'm hearing ghost stories, bro. I don't want to do that.
I feel like if
So-
it was,
It reopens in 2022, and I will be booking a room when it reopens. That is done.
just like, what's the worst room in here? Book
Yes,
it.
I want the most haunted room.
Damn.
Like that, the elevator boy, they say that the temperature around the base of that elevator shaft is significantly colder than anywhere else.
Can I have some of your games, like when you die?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's got all physical copies.
Bailey
bro.
has my spare
Oh,
key.
yeah, yeah,
y'all
you
just
know how I
open
fuck
it up
with that.
and rate it.
I
Take
fuck
whatever
with
y'all
physical
want.
Yeah, I know.
copies. Yeah, I was like, that's how you know. You must have known I fuck with physical copies. Yeah, that's my shit.
That's wild though.
Yeah, it's hella wild.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've been thinking about going digital on my Switch, bro. I don't know. That takes more data
A
See,
little.
that's- that's
a little.
what-
Not too much, yeah.
to
I-
install it. To install it, the game on the Switch hard, whatever. Hard
It's
Yeah,
drive.
like
yeah.
another 100 to 200 megs of just the file that it needs to run.
Versus if I got just the physical
Yeah,
copy.
'cause
I'm
still-
glad
it
y'all
still
told me that.
installs
I'm
it.
Yeah,
not
it
doing
needs
that
to
shit.
install it.
Yeah, no. So, but even if because you got to install it, even if you get your physical version.
Yeah.
But it's less
Welcome
still.
to
at
our
the end of the
gaming
day.
spooky
The
podcast.
difference is the amount of data that it takes to authorize you to play it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this turned into Channel
So,
3 real
do
quick.
you think it matters? do you buy mostly physical? Like, are you like me? You just like
For me,
it?
I just like looking at it.
Okay, me too.
And like my internet
Like
goes
having
out
it
all the
is
time,
nice.
so I buy all the movies physically so I can still watch them when the internet goes
yeah,
out.
I'm a these these guys. No,
Like,
I
I'm-
gotta get the physical. I'll go drive the goddamn Kayo if I got to get the. I used to work there, so you know that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was wondering. I probably want to do that then.
We got any final thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of cool stories in that town about all kinds of weird stuff.
I think one podcast we should just kind of like freeball it and just kind of talk about each other's experiences.
That'd
for
be
sure.
really fun.
That way
I
I don't have
might,
to
I
plan
might just
anything.
cut them all out of this so that we can do that on that.
Oh,
That'd be
I still got
like
more.
just a.
Yeah,
I've
I guess I still
I've
have
just
a
got a
couple
lot
more.
of vague things.
I
And
have
I've been to a lot of really
crazier
cool places.
backstory. That I still don't know what happened that night.
All right.
Anyway.
That's
It's not ghosts. It was definitely just the government.
Jordan's over there like, just stop talking,
Yeah,
y'all.
just
It's
like, fuck,
done.
bro. Fuck yeah, no. I would be
Fucking
just-
birds work for the bourgeoisie.
I would just be too afraid to leave with something. I don't know.
Jane Yamamoto.
Yeah, my mom has a place down the street from the hotel that inspired The Shining.
Yeah.
Got a lot of stories about that. Nothing personal. Like, I've been there and I've stayed there once, but
Wouldn't do that neither.
no,
I wanna
I
go stay-
believe that.
I want to go stay at the
Oh,
super
yeah.
haunted place in San Antonio.
Yeah, I want to stay there, but turns out it's $1 million a night, and I have $12.
There we go.
Not
That's
12 million.
significantly less than $1 million.
I would say.
With that being said, we are taking donations. Patreon.
Yes, if you would like to donate to the cause of us dying in a ghost house.
I do have my own Patreon, just throwing that out there, but
And you should do like a GoFundMe or something and put the title like white people shit.
Yeah.
I think people would support, bro.
Hell
A lot of
yeah.
y'all. Or them. Hey, cut that out. Cut that part out. for sure.
no.
You gotta.
That's so funny.
You gotta take that part.
That's
out,
so
for sure.
funny.
I don't need to ruin my credibility. I love white people for the reference in all colors and all races and everything. So, just going on record to say
There
that.
you go.
Listen to my music.
There you go.
Listen to my music. I love you all.
Listen to my music.
I love you all.
Oh man, so I guess we should wrap it up there.
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah, how are we closing this out?
Well,
well,
first we
got
should go
plugs.
around and see.
Oh, does anyone have thoughts on it?
I kind of believe it. I think that would be interesting. So
I
kinda
literally
believe
said, does anybody have thoughts about
it. Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, but-
we're getting back to that now.
but then we started talking about Switch and
Physical
Sorry.
copies.
I don't know. Like I said, I believe that history has left a mark there of some kind,
I
but
think it's
probably not
interesting.
ghosts.
This is definitely another interesting story. Like, all of them have been so far. I was not here for one, I believe.
I think that
Which
one's
I
up, though.
really, yeah, I'm going to listen to it because I know Norm's was about, you said Japan, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that was really interesting.
That's my shit. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. So
Yeah, I need to listen to that
Oh,
one.
we're live on Apple Podcasts now as well. So
I'm
Ooh.
also still a guest. I don't want y'all to think that I'll be here every week. But I do have a topic that I've been working on, so.
do you guys for the? I was gonna buy a jacket, but now that it's warm, do you guys got just shirts?
for merch, we
Yeah.
have Channel 3 merch. We haven't done merch for this just yet.
Oh, this. So
But-
you know what? Halfway through this, I realized this was a different podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, these motherfuckers not talking about video games.
Tanner, you didn't explain it?
No, I told him while we were talking about it. I was like, "We're doing a different podcast."
This was-
It's in our text messages. It has to be.
Not this time. You just maybe when we met up a couple weeks ago. When we met up a couple weeks ago and we were talking about it because in my text message you were like, you just coming to the podcast tonight, and I was just like, oh yeah.
Cause I was like wondering, I was like, cause
Yeah.
not saying like, it didn't seem like you didn't seem like the type of guy that's like into like the creepy stuff.
Yeah,
and, like,
he's
been
getting
the
scared.
murders and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, definitely not. I was just like, I mean, I told him, he mentioned about changing to Friday, so I was just like, yeah, I'd forgotten, but I told Tanner, I put a reminder in my phone, I told you I was going to do it today, so I came.
Man, I really wish we could record our sessions because I want to see the exact moment Jordan realizes and his eyes get big and he's like, oh.
I was like, alright, we're talking about ghosts. Cool. I can't go quit with video games. I was like, I'm gonna talk about this, and I'm gonna say what shit I've been playing. But nah, okay, cool. I didn't know. So it's different ones. So the ones that's on Thursday is still Channel 3.
That
We do it
we've been doing on
different days,
Tuesdays. Yeah.
Oh,
About
man.
Tuesday.
Yeah, we've been
we
doing
got a
this on
new-
Thursdays the last couple weeks.
Oh, okay.
We've been going through a couple hosts that
Yeah.
aren't me and Tanner, but now Matt seems to be sticking pretty well.
I hope so.
Damn,
Yeah,
I want to be on
yeah.
that again. I just
As-
have
as far-
trouble getting out on the weekdays. But
Yeah, I know what you
yeah,
mean.
we can try to figure something out though for sure.
Yeah, I'd be
Because I'd
down
like to
to-
have you on for that.
yeah, I'd be down. That's
That'd be a lot of
definitely
fun.
Yeah.
definitely. Because I had shit that
You're
I
one of our
been
best
playing.
guests on that show.
I appreciate that, man. I came prepared to talk about games, playing, and everything. So
Well,
You
surprise!
and Norman.
It's good.
Yeah.
You just
I mean,
cover
it was
all your
cool.
bases
It
with
was a
that.
different conversation. It was cool to talk with
Oh.
everybody, hear the stories.
Yeah, but
Even though
now,
they were
now that I know
unsettling.
that ghosts are okay for this podcast,
Yeah, Urban
Buckle
Legends
Like I'm
up.
is in the
Yeah.
description. We are good.
cool. Yeah. Well, now that I know we can go fringe. I've
I
got
don't think
some
that was
topics.
too fringe.
No, okay, but I started talking
I
about
didn't
my
talk about the
dead
Go
dad.
people.
You didn't start talking about the go people. Don't worry, I'll bring it around.
Oh, you know
I'll
what?
bring it.
I don't want
I'll,
any more.
I'll call my
push
granny
it.
again and get a story about the Go
Sounds
people.
perfect.
It's like, don't
I'm gonna
fucking
push-
invite me
Yeah.
next
No,
time.
no.
I don't want to hear about
Don't
Go
you worry.
people.
No, I'll
No Go people, man.
I'll just push it until
Wait.
like eventually we get.
I
into
have to
some
make a
weird
public
stuff.
correction. I said mole people. I meant goat people. I don't know why I
That's
said
so
Oh,
much
before?
better.
I heard
Goat
goat peop-
people
No, I don't
are
want
much
it.
better
No, like
than
when I
mole
brought it
people.
up the first time, I guess on like the first episode.
Yeah, the first
Yeah, you said
episode.
mole people.
I said mole people. It is
Oh.
goat
Which
people.
mole people
Uh,
are interesting. Don't get me wrong,
our-
but goat
so
people are
Hector-
so much more interesting.
Hector's
I have
from
to
Waco, and
disagree.
he said that he said,
Ah, you find
Yeah,
yourself
he
a
heard
mole
stories about
people
goat
type of
pussy.
guy.
Respect.
Really?
yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah,
Maybe
he
we should
said-
have Hector on.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
He'd be all about it.
Is he going to call me your buddy the whole time?
Just because that once.
That's really funny because I know people that talk like that. What happened?
He
What?
said so.
So-
Tanner came in. Tanner worked at the same place I work at for a year,
Yeah.
and one of the managers
Who was there the whole year I worked there?
Yeah.
Refers to you as his buddy.
Yeah,
just
that's
one time.
hilarious.
I brought in Tiff Streets and like business cards for the place I work at now, just to like give to the
He goes,
staff.
"Hey, your buddy was just here," and I was like, "Who?" Because he had cookies. So I was like, "I don't got no buddies that work at the
Yeah,
fucking
for
cookie
sure.
place." And he's Tanner. I was like, "Oh, why do you say it like that?" You
Yeah.
know him,
Oh,
What'd you say you
man.
worked there
Dude,
again?
those cookies.
Gumbies.
Gumby.
brought
yeah,
my
yeah,
day.
yeah. That's funny, huh?
That my day was rough, and then you brought those cookies, and I
Yeah.
was like,
Not much
well, it was
longer,
still,
though.
it was
I'll be
actually
working
still
with
very
Tanner
rough,
at
but
At,
the cookies helped.
Best
Repair
Buy?
place.
Oh, repair. You're not at Best Buy no more?
No, I'm doing repairs now.
What do you, just everything? Where
Yeah.
at?
Just
It's
electronics.
a place
yeah.
in.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna
Damn.
open one up.
We're opening
Uh,
one up in San Marcos.
yeah.
So. Yeah.
That's super cool. So, like, just game system. Anyway, we're about to get way off.
Hey, bring the PlayStation by. We'll see what we can do.
I
man.
want to, because I don't know. I want to. I'm gonna talk to you because I was like, "Fuck, bro, the PlayStation 5 gonna be coming soon, right?"
Yeah,
I'd
that's
say
what I'm
2021.
trying to
Is
hold
it-
out.
Is it even really a point? But I'm trying to compete online, and I hate this lag. Hate it.
Just get a PC, man.
Oh,
Yo,
God.
for real.
I can't play fucking fighting games on a PC.
You plug in the
yeah, you
same
can.
stick you use
the
on
I was
the
about to
controllers,
say-
the PS4 controllers.
Yeah.
What?
You can.
What type of level? What level PC would I have to buy? I mean, I would need.
I
to,
can- work
probably
out a
not
bill
too
with you.
crazy.
Yeah, I can work
Probably
out a
not
Yes,
too
bill with
crazy.
technology.
I want to hear your option norms before I go and buy a whole fucking computer.
A PS4 Pro is going to be cheaper. I'll just start there.
I play fighters on PC.
Oh, really?
With
What's
my,
I heard the community is small on PC,
I haven't played in a while,
and they're
but
not
I
competing
was,
like that on there.
yeah, probably not.
No,
Probably
no,
not.
I heard
All right,
it's
we got to
not-
end this before it turns into Channel 3.
Yeah, we
Although
can talk about this
yeah,
after.
we could just record the episode of Channel 3 for this week if we just keep going.
Yeah, low-key, that's what happened.
Are y'all down?
I don't see why not.
No, Norman's not down. Nah, Norman said no. So.
No, man, I will be heading out soon. I'll be
Oh,
heading out
well.
soon anyway too. So we could do it.
Dad
Yeah,
said
some other
no.
time. Some other
Yeah.
time.
All right,
Damn. See, I had your back, no.
all right. Let's do plugs. Oh, does anyone else have anything they want to say about it?
Final thoughts.
I think it's definitely an interesting place. I'm glad you brought it up.
I'm
Hotels are super weird.
I love hotels.
Great for ghosts.
I'm a big fan.
Thank you
I
for bringing up
also-
the topic, Tanner.
You're welcome. I was gonna say I also I'm pretty
All
sure I
right.
also met a ghost at the hotel in Austin that's on 6. What's it called? The Driscoll?
Why are you looking at me?
Do you know?
No.
Does anyone
I've been
know?
to Austin,
Driscoll?
like-
Is it the Driscoll that's on
I don't
6th?
know.
The
That's
super old
if it's
hotel?
anything ghost related, but I probably don't.
But it's just a hotel. Like, it's the oldest hotel
Yeah,
in
it's
Boston.
Austin. There's a bunch
ghost
of
related
hotels.
Just think about it. You ever watch Yu Yu Hakusho?
Yeah, but
Think
that's
about it
different.
like that.
I don't have the spirit
Spirit
gun.
detective.
If I had a spirit gun, we'd be the whole different story. Whole different story.
Yo,
about
you
it,
might.
girls.
Have you died yet?
Spirit gun.
All right. Anyone else got thoughts? We know J-Mac's thoughts at this point.
Wrong podcast. Great content.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that's pretty much it. For sure. So,
All right. Plugs? Who's got them?
Let's start with Jordan.
Yeah.
Man, just got new music coming out. Working on projects and videos coming out. You guys can find me at JMac JMAC_dragon. And that's gonna be my SoundCloud, my Instagram, and my Twitter. And I'm on Apple Music and Spotify and all that as JMac the Dragon. My project on there is open book, and we got more music coming soon. That felt good. That was very official. So
Nice.
It was.
Hell yeah.
Very nice.
It's good. It's
Thank
good
you.
music,
We're
too.
excited for
I
it. Yeah,
appreciate
you
it.
showed
Like,
us
thank you.
on podcast. You showed us that song,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it's fucking awesome.
I
Like,
appreciate
I
it,
very
man.
much enjoyed
I definitely like hear you were talking about like the more melodic,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
sound.
yeah.
It's good.
Thank you. I'm hoping
I
that
like
it'll be something for everybody, you know, and I appreciate it. And even for people that don't really listen to hip hop, that's what I'm shooting
Yeah.
for. So
Dude, this dog's on crack.
Marty likes to get under blankets.
No, I know, but every time he does it more and more.
You
difficultly.
can find me at now. I just changed it today. You can find me at Basil_SSB on Twitter and Instagram. That's BAESIL_SSB.
Are you going to have to make a new profile on my Smash now?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
All right.
But yeah, that's where you can find me. That's what I do.
I am at I'm Still Tanner on Twitter. And you can find us actually at YFilesPod on Twitter and Instagram. Just started the accounts. Not sure what's on there yet. I have passed off that responsibility.
Nothing.
So, but yeah, and we hope to have the website up soon. Been working on it a lot, just don't have the domain set yet, so I can't tell you where to go. But once that's up, we're going to have links to Channel 3, we're going to have links to this, we're going to have links to The Positively Negative, which also just got cleared for Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So, it's an official thing now, even
Hell
though
yeah.
there's just that one episode.
Super excited to be on Spotify and shit. So.
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, it's your boy Norm. You can find me on Instagram. I don't even know what.
man,
I totally forgot, actually. It is Unhappy Bananas.
I know your
I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's
Well, because I was
your
getting
Twitter
confused
too,
with
right?
my.
Very funny. I
Yeah.
always chuckle when I see it.
Yeah, Unhappy Bananas on Instagram. And then, yeah, definitely, tell your friends about us.
Yes, please. We need listeners. I need to put food on the table.
That goes for both of us, man. Damn.
You need to put White Claws on the table.
I need to put White Claws on the
put
table.
White
Straight
Claws.
out of pocket, though.
Yeah.
So I am
I
Emily.
took this out of our advertising budget, just so you know.
God damn it.
I'm Emily. I am Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Ninja Squirrel, NJASQRL. I stream every Wednesday night around 6:30 Central. I'm always late, even though I set my own schedule.
She said I stream at this time, but I'm always late.
So don't wait up.
It's usually about 6:45. I'll get started, but if
Oh,
you
that's not
like,
that bad.
if you like my starting soon screen, you can look at it for a little while.
15 minutes about.
Thereabouts.
Just
Yeah.
She'll be here soon. I know she will.
That's what my mom does. Yeah, I'm on Twitter a lot. Usually it's dumb retweets. I'm on Twitch all the time. Sometimes I'll stream outside my normal times, but I've been gone for a while, so I'm trying to build back my audience of not a
I
lot,
feel that.
but it was solid, and I'm really looking forward to being back at it. But
I actually
Yeah.
streamed the other night.
I was about to say, I
totally
just
forgot.
streamed last night.
I
Again.
did too.
I streamed last night after a party. Me and Lily were drunk, and I got her to play Doki Doki Literature Club.
Oh,
We did not get
goodness.
that. We did not get far enough in it though. We played like
Okay.
about an hour, and she was like, "I'm getting bored." I was like,
Well,
that makes
yeah, you
sense.
haven't gotten
Yeah.
to the interesting parts
"Yeah,
yet.
exactly." She doesn't know anything
There's
about
a-
it though, so I'm
whole-
super excited
Yeah.
to see where it goes. I hope she doesn't look into it. I don't think she will.
Yeah, it takes a while to get there, but when it gets there.
Yeah, it's good. I'm excited.
All right. Well, good night.
Good night.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Later.
Okay. Like we all waited for that.
Just like, hey, Jordan, come to the podcast. And I was just like, I'll be there.